Coming on, champs and chambettes, it's FireMonkey here, currently heisting a vault, but in today's YouTube video, we have to tell you guys everything that is going to be going down with the V26.10 update. Now, I've gone ahead and compiled a list of all the stuff that'll be happening, and I decided, it would make a nice little video, because as we know on this channel, whenever it gets close to update time, that's when everyone starts to get excited, they start speculating on stuff coming to the game, and it all becomes this very interesting spot where we're all trying to figure out what the next big thing happening in Fortnite is. So I've gone ahead, went through all the leaks and news and everything else and compiled a list of all the information we should know, and it all starts off with Piper Pace. As you guys know, if you go to the character menu, Piper Pace can be found over here at Slappy Shores in like a pizza themed restaurant, or at least in that generalized area. And as of right now, Piper Pace only sells the Scope Burst SMG, while the Snapshot quest for Piper Pace will be releasing tomorrow in the morning at 9 AM Eastern time, and with that we're going to finally be seeing, some extra items added to the game, some stuff you haven't seen in a while being unvaulted. Some people speculated it was for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collaboration, but at least as of right now, it appears like this is actually just for the whole entire Piper Pace questline and more. So firstly, once the quest actually released, I do want to mention we don't have the exact quest information because they're kind of placeholders right now. Once you do 3 quests, you'll unlock the Pizza Party item as an item you can actually purchase from Piper Pace. Now, for people who forgot how this works, it's basically, just a pizza box you throw at the ground. You can take slices, or you can eat directly out of the box in general, and you'll be able to purchase that from Piper Pace herself. For doing 6 quests, you'll unlock the patch-up service, which basically means you can talk to Piper, pay some bars, and actually get some healing returned to you. The Scope Burst SMG that Piper Pace also sells will be legendary regardless of, how many times you talk to her or whatever else, assuming you've done 6 quests, so that's nice to know, guaranteed the legendary SMG in the game whenever you want it, assuming you got the bars to spend for it, and it's an item you actually want. And then for doing 10 quests, you'll actually be able to hire Piper Pace as an NPC in the game. Now, as you can tell by the little character menu, it doesn't look like Piper has any special attributes to her, such as, like recon or, ammo specialist, all that type of stuff, but that could of course change when the update officially releases. Either way, Piper Pace will just be a character you'll be able to hire, she'll be on your side, and you'll be able to easily get some extra eliminations, with her by your side. Now, in terms of the cosmetic rewards, for doing 6 quests, you'll unlock the Piping Hot animated emoticon. For doing 10 quests, you'll unlock the Pitfaller glider. Now, this is the base variant of the glider. The one you get in the battle pass is actually the secondary variant. For doing 13 quests, you'll actually get the Hazardous Piper Pace outfit variant, which for people who kind of forgot what that variant looks like, it's basically the variant that's kind of like greenish and like yellowish on the actual design. So overall, you get 3 cosmetics, 2 of those being variants or, the base version of a specific cosmetic, and then you also get some benefits in game through actual NPC reputation upgrades. Other than that, though, we do have some, slight oddities and stuff happening around when it comes to the battle pass. Of course, we know we're going to be getting the week 3 and 4 quest line. We're obviously going to be getting super level styles as well added to the game. Regarding if those will be available right when downtime ends, or if we have to wait a few days, currently remains to be seen. Sometimes they make it so it's available right after downtime, even though the countdown goes to like Thursday or whatever, and other times they do make it, something where you have to actually wait until the Thursday day comes for you to actually get all those different variants and everything else. But of course, it really just depends on when Epic Games decides to release it, if they decide to change the values very last minute. Now, I know we already talked about the Pizza Party item returning, but there's potentially a new item that'll be coming to the game that will be replacing the Thermal DMR. So for anyone who hasn't seen the Thermal DMR, hasn't used it, just the DMR you can toggle on and off the thermal sight, well, it appears that there's going to be a new DMR in town, which is very interesting because it seems like every single season Epic Games brings a new DMR to the game, this time being a toggle zoom DMR. You're seeing an image of it on screen right now, and basically how this works, as the title kind of suggests, is that it's a DMR that, will shoot just like all the rest of them. However, you can actually toggle the zoom to be closer or further zoomed in whenever you're actually using the item. So, it's a pretty simplistic gimmick they're using, just being able to have like a variable zoom and stuff. Maybe they could actually expand on that and make some, variable zoom snipers in the game in the very near future or whatever else. But it is very odd to see how every single season it feels like we get a new DMR, right? We had the normal DMR, then we got, kind of like a revamped DMR. We've had the thermal one, now we're getting a toggle zoom. It's like, what is the love for the DMR, right? There's tons of other weapons they could be using and stuff in the game and giving more love to, but for some reason the DMR is just the most revised item that we've ever seen recently, where it feels like every single season you're guaranteed to get a brand new DMR in the game, with this season having it being the toggle zoom DMR. It's almost like they're just kind of using the DMR as a way to test new features and mechanics and stuff to see if they can implement that on other items later down the line. But of course, that is just my little theory, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about about how they've been kind of giving the DMR treatment recently over the few just kind of like seasons, and what do you think they're going to do next to the DMR? Are they going to make it shootout pizza, pineapple pizzas, you know, whatever else they're going to do? Who really knows? Now, of course, we also know that we're going to be getting new cosmetics, new encrypted files, but we don't know any specifics about those, so there isn't really much to talk about there. In terms of new augments, however, we do know that we have some upcoming augments set to release, being Revamped Siphon, which either heals 8 damage per shot or it heals 0.8 health per shot, meaning that, you know, it will work on any weapon, any rarity, any of that type of stuff, and it's just a revised version of the whole entire Siphon augment system to always give you Siphon whenever you deal damage. Now, it is multiplied by 0.01, which is why I'm saying that it either is going to give you 0.8 health or 8.08 health between, you know, each shot that you do, depending on how it actually gets multiplied and everything else. Because some of the multiplications are actually, you know, like on top of the base one, and some of them are like, nope, this overwrites the entire thing. But overall, it seems like the only gimmick with that actual, you know, upcoming Siphon augment is that it will work on everything. It just won't give you as much health as you might have wanted from any other source, right? It's just going to give you a base value of health for every single shot you get off on an enemy, which could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It really just depends on how it actually goes into the active gameplay and how it affects everything else. We have Farm Fresh, which is an upcoming augment that makes farm items such as corn, apples, etc. give you plus 10 extra healing. So instead of like a cabbage giving you, like 5 to 10 HP, it'll give you 15 to 20 HP, right? Basically just an extra 10 HP for all the healing items out there that are in the farm category. So it's just a nice little augment to have in the game, especially if you're someone who used to use the Harvester augment a long time ago, where you would be able to break bushes and stuff to actually get, you know, extra healing items as well. This won't be like that. It's kind of like a nerf version where you only get the healing bonus and you don't get an extra like spawn of farming items or anything like that, but it is a nice augment to see coming to the game. We have Ninja Training, which is an augment I'm super excited for. It will multiply your movement speed while crouched by 1.3 times, which for those who don't know, that is the same multiplication as, you know, the longer sprinting augment in the game. So, you know, if you're kind of used to that slight little change with the longer sprinting augment where it does 1.3 times, then you'll definitely be used to the whole entire change it does to the crouching speed once that augment releases in the game. We also have Marksman Crit, which makes it so you get headshot, whenever you get a headshot with a marksman weapon such as DMRs, the damage will be higher by 0.15 times, meaning a legendary thermal DMR would do 74 headshot damage instead of the normal 64.35. And as you know, we have a new DMR releasing very soon, so most likely what will happen is once we get the new DMR in the game, they will most likely enable this augment as well as kind of like, you know, a synergy type of thing. It's like, hey, you get a new DMR in the game, you know, the one with like the toggle zoom, and on top of that, you also get a DMR augment that makes it so crit headshots will actually do more and more damage, kind of, you know, hyping up people and trying to get them to use the actual like scope zoom or whatever else to get some longer range shots. And then regarding an older augment that recently got re-updated, we have Party Time. Now that's the augment that would give you balloons over time. This has been updated to not spawn balloons while you're actually using the rocket ram, which also could mean whenever you're using this, it'll get rid of the balloons on your back. I assume that if you combine the rocket ram with balloons, it would have some weird oddity combination, or maybe you can just go like super high in the sky and just fly basically with it. Because I mean, we've already seen glitches of people going in creative mode and activating fly mode while using the rocket ram, and it does add up and you can definitely fly around with it. So I wouldn't doubt that, you know, there's some weird combination going on with balloons and the rocket ram for its potential return in the future, maybe for the birthday event or something, that, you know, could cause a weird little synergy. And as you guys can tell, that was a little bit of a hint for something. Fortnite's 6th birthday is going to have its little hype up quest or whatever else happening very soon. We're not for sure exactly when it starts. It could be this update or the V26.20 update, but we do know that the quests typically start around September 21st to the 26th, with the exact birthday being on the 26th, which is the exact same update day as V26.20, and we know that cakes, presents, balloons, all that type of stuff will actually be returning to the game, and if it's not added in this update, it'll be guaranteed for the next update. So yeah, if you're someone who enjoyed throwing down presents on the ground, either from Winterfest or from the birthday events that'll be returning, you'll be able to get items from breaking open the presents, keep them on their big actual presence in the game. If you're someone who enjoyed, flying around on balloons, those will be returning as well. And then of course, if you're someone who enjoyed going to the different POIs and just kind of stealing tons and tons of slices of cake because they did give some pretty good healing, that'll be something else that you're available to do as well once the birthday event officially returns. However, it might not return this update, but it will be guaranteed returning either this update or the update right after it. And then in terms of bug fixes, I'm going to split this up in two categories. First, I'm going to be talking about Battle Royale bug fixes, and then the mobile/cloud gaming bug fixes. For Battle Royale, they're finally going to be fixing it, so if you're auto running right now and you tab out of the game, auto run will actually continue running instead of freezing you in place. I mean, if you're auto running and even though it bring up this menu over here, auto running would stop, right? And that was something that would never happen before. Luckily, that is already going to be fixed in the next update, which is amazing for someone like me who has multiple monitors, because I'll be auto running sometimes while looking in the files for things to leak, right? It's like, I want to play the game, but I also want to make sure I'm getting all the leaks and news out there for the YouTube channel and everything else. So it's like having auto running is definitely a nice feature that will be great once, this whole entire bug that's been happening since the launch of the new season has been fixed. Now, on top of that, the vault display cases over in the heisted vaults and everything else will no longer randomly become impossible to interact with. Typically, this happens when you interact with it and it for a few seconds for some reason it just kind of acts like, oh, now this can't be opened at all because it didn't give you the weapon or anything else like that whenever you actually interacted with the vault originally, and it has a little bit of a cooldown, 2 to 3 seconds. That will be fixed, so now when you actually interact to steal something from a vault, you don't have to worry about waiting or anything else. It will just instantly be stolen from that vault. Rerolling augments will now also count for the spin bars quest, so if you have Caper and Elias's questline still, rerolling your augments will actually count for that, and you will be able to actually progress those easier. Players will no longer get stuck at 9 out of 10 on the survivor medals, so basically if you go to your medal collection right here, if you have, Mythic 9 or blah blah blah, you won't get stuck at that and you'll finally be able to progress through all the stages. Luckily, I didn't have that happen to my account, but I do know that there have been some people who've just been unable to do any of the survivor quests because of everything getting stuck on their account in this weird way where it's like, oh yeah, you have 9 out of 10, but you can't progress any further. I'm not even sure how it actually, got activated or whatever, how the bug took place, but luckily that will be fixed so everyone can enjoy all their augments and all their survivor medals and all that good stuff. And then this one is kind of, a miscellaneous bug fix that is more of just a funny thing, not really anything too crazy that they're fixing, but they're making it so heist music will no longer play for the entire match when you visit one of the 3 new POIs. This is kind of like the elevator music you would hear whenever you went to those POIs. Sometimes when you would actually leave, the music would just keep playing, right? It would never stop and it would just kind of exist there for all of eternity. Luckily, that will be going away, so if you're someone who got annoyed by the music, maybe you're in competitive scene or whatever else, and you needed to focus, that will no longer affect you. But if you're someone like me who just found it kind of funny to have elevator music during your entire match, it's something where you're like, well, that kind of sucks to see it's patched because now I can't think in my head that, just while I'm missing all my shots on a bot or something, just elevator music, whatever it sounds like. Are you in the bush? No, you're over here. Okay, I don't know why that. Wait, what? I'm so confused on how they just kind of zoomed that fast away from me. All right, is that even the same bot? I don't even know. But yeah, the heist music whole entire situation will be fixed, and you won't have to worry about that anymore. And then the mobile/cloud gaming bug fixes, which are specific to people mainly on Android devices. We have some small things here. Firstly, Android players will be able to see water once again. So if you're someone who's been wondering who drank all the water on the Fortnite island, if you're on an Android phone, you will once again be able to see that, and it'll all be nice and dandy. The gyro controls on Android will no longer have the X and Y axis inverted, so now it's going to be the normal controls, and then weak spots will appear once you're hitting normal objects, right? So if we go up to this object right here and we hit it, that weak spot sometimes would not show up on Android and cloud gaming devices. Luckily, that'll be fixed though, and you will be able to see that absolutely everywhere you hit in the game. So tons of bug fixes, tons of new stuff to expect, and of course new quest lands, new XP, and new cosmetics, and even more stuff than I mentioned in today's video coming out very, very soon in the game. So hopefully this video was very informative, gave you all the information you needed to know on all the upcoming stuff happening in the game, and I'll catch you champs and champettes next time with another upload. Peace out.